Everyone loves you when you're cheap, when your time is free, when your phone is always on, when you bend, adjust, reschedule, listen, help, fix for nothing. They'll call you a good person. They'll call you so reliable. But watch what happens the first time you say no. Pause, the praise disappears. The smiles fade. Suddenly you're selfish, cold, changed. Nothing actually changed except one thing: you finally tried to raise your price. You are living inside a silent economy where your attention, your energy, your presence, and even your emotions are traded like currency. And right now, you are on the discount rack. In this video, we're going to tear that system open. You'll discover why people only chase what's hard to reach, why being perpetually available destroys your worth, and how to turn yourself from a free sample into something so rare that only the serious ever reach you. We'll walk through the psychology, the dark parts included. By the end, you'll know exactly how to stop being taken for granted, set a new price on your time and emotions, and become someone people work to keep in their lives. But understand this: there is a cost, a real one. Before this is over, I'll show you the final price you must pay to become rare. Most people will refuse. If you don't, your entire social life will never look the same again. Pause, transition. Let's start with the brutal truth most people never see. Look around you. Your job, your friendships, your family, your romantic life. They feel personal, emotional, human. But underneath all the stories there is a ledger: who gives what, who takes what, who is cheap, who is expensive. Psychologists call this social exchange theory. People unconsciously compare what they invest, time, attention, money, effort, with what they receive. Whether they admit it or not, they are constantly asking, is this person worth what I'm spending on them? The problem is this: most people never ask that question about themselves. They just keep giving. Imagine two colleagues. Person A, always happy to help, stays late, answers every message instantly, jumps on every crisis. Person B, excellent at their job but hard to reach. They say no often. They don't join every meeting. You wait for their reply. Who gets taken for granted? Who gets promoted, protected, and deferred to? It isn't about who's nicer. It's about perceived value. Psychologist Robert Cialdini talked about something called the scarcity effect. Things seem more valuable when they are limited. But this isn't just about products. It's about people. You already know this. Think about the texts you replay in your head, the friend who suddenly stopped replying, the partner who pulled back, the boss who's hard to read. Your mind fixates on whatever you can't easily get. Now turn that around. Who in your life never leaves your messages on read? Who always says yes? Who's always just a call away? Be honest, you don't lose sleep over them, do you? Pause. Here's the first pattern. Interrupt. Stop right now and ask yourself, where in my life am I showing up like a 24/7 convenience store, and then wondering why no one treats me like a high-end restaurant? Write it down. Work, relationship, family, friends, social media, anywhere you are always open, you are quietly lowering your price. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about seeing the game you are already in. Because until you see it, you are playing for free. Micro conclusion for Section 1. You feel underpriced because, in practice, you are underpriced. Your availability, your time, your emotional labor, unlimited supply, almost no conditions. The world responds logically. It treats you like something cheap. Next, we're going to attack the core of this: how abundance destroys value and how to reverse it. Picture two things in your mind: a beach covered in sand, and a small meteorite, one that fell from space. Both are just rocks. You can hold them in your hand, but which one would you lock in a safe? The difference isn't usefulness, it's rarity. Economists after Adam Smith, like William Stanley Jevons and Carl Menger, pointed out something critical. We don't price things by how necessary they are, but by how scarce they feel right now. Sand is everywhere. Meteorites are not, so the sand becomes a background, the meteorite becomes a treasure. You've made yourself sand. You answer every call. You explain yourself to everyone. You show up to things you don't even want to be at. You say, "It's okay, don't worry," even when it very much is not okay. You become the background of other people's lives. Comfortable, familiar. Ignored, now think of a top-tier specialist surgeon. They don't answer their own phone. You don't just drop by their office. You wait weeks for an appointment. You fill out forms. You pay up front. Is the surgeon always nice? Not necessarily, but you still respect them because every interaction with them is structured by scarcity. Pause, here's the second pattern interrupt. Ask yourself, if someone observed my behavior for a week, with no context, would they conclude I am a specialist or a free intern? Because your habits are broadcasting your perceived level every single day. Let's drill this down into something you can do today. Exercise. The Access audit tonight. Take 10 minutes and write 3 lists. People who have instant access to you who can interrupt you at any time. Who do you respond to immediately, no matter what you're doing? People who have delayed access to you who sometimes waits, who gets answers when you have time. People who have almost no access to you who has to go through someone else, who simply doesn't reach you. Now compare those lists to how each person treats you. You will notice a brutal pattern. The instant access group often shows the least respect. The delayed access group is neutral or decent. The low access group either idolizes you or barely knows you exist. Your goal is not to cut everyone off. Your goal is to restructure access so you are no longer sand. You become rare by answering slowly, saying no more than yes, not explaining every decision, being physically and digitally hard to reach. People don't cherish what's always on the shelf. They cherish what might be gone next time they look. Mantra 1. My time is not an open buffet. It is a reserved table. Pause, micro conclusion for section 2. To raise your value, you must reduce your availability. Rarity, not niceness, creates perceived worth. Next, you'll learn how to build actual gates around your life so only the serious ever get through. Think about 2 places in a city. First, the central bus station. People wander in and out. No reservations, no security. Anyone can sit, loiter, sleep, complain, argue. It's open, fluorescent, chaotic. Second, a private courtyard in an old monastery. High walls, heavy doors. A single entrance. Visitors are expected, not random. The inside is quiet, focused, intentional. You have been living like the bus station. You let anyone vent to you for hours. Dump their problems on you without asking. Invite you to things that drain you. Pull you into drama that has nothing to do with your mission. You think this makes you kind. But what you're actually doing is removing all friction between you and anyone else's agenda. Psychology has a name for what happens when something resists us: reactance. When access is limited or blocked, our desire increases. This is why exclusive restaurants keep waiting lists and why hidden speakeasies require a password. Friction creates focus. Pause, let's design your gates. 1. Change your default answer most people operate on. Yes, unless there's a crisis. Your new default becomes no, unless it clearly serves my values or my vision. Concrete rules. If a request doesn't clearly align with your top 2-3 priorities, the answer is no. If you feel yourself saying yes, just to avoid discomfort or guilt, the answer is no. If you need to justify to yourself why you should do it, the answer is no. You don't owe a speech. A simple, "I can't commit to that" is enough. Remember, explanations invite negotiation. A gate without a lock is just decoration. 2. Introduce friction on purpose. You can install simple filters that silently repel low-value demands. Delay your responses. Stop answering instantly unless it's truly urgent. Let messages sit. Batch your communication. Check messages 1-3 times a day, not every few minutes. Make people ask clearly. If someone vaguely says, "We should hang out," respond with, "What did you have in mind?" Many plans will die right there. Add criteria. I'm free for calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 4 and 6. Watch how quickly time wasters vanish. This isn't arrogance, it's emotional hygiene. Pause 3. Test before trust. Never let someone into your inner circle without small tests. Do they keep their word on little things? Do they respect your time boundaries? Do they talk about others with contempt in front of you? If they fail on small tests, don't give them big access. You are not obligated to give everyone a chance. You are obligated to protect your energy. What not to do: don't become spiteful or theatrical with your boundaries. Quiet is stronger. Don't use boundaries as a weapon to manipulate or punish. That backfires. Don't announce, "I'm cutting toxic people off" on social media. Just act. Mantra 2. Entry to my life is by invitation, not by accident. Micro-conclusion for Section 3. By changing your default from yes to no, adding friction and quietly testing people, you turn your life from a public station into a guarded stronghold. Next, we weaponize something even more powerful than your time: your silence. In every group, there is usually one person everyone looks at when things get serious. They might not be the loudest. Often they're the quietest. They don't talk much, but when they do, people stop scrolling, stop fidgeting, and listen. Their secret isn't just intelligence, it's economy. Their words are expensive. You, on the other hand, may have been giving your thoughts away like free samples in a supermarket. You tell your whole life story on the first date. You reveal your plans before they are real. You explain your motivations to people who haven't earned that level of clarity. You narrate every emotional fluctuation online. The result: your inner world becomes predictable. Predictable becomes boring. Boring becomes disrespected. Pause. There's a concept in psychology called the Zeigarnik effect. We remember unfinished stories better than completed ones. Mystery holds attention. Over-explanation kills it. You must learn the art of strategic incompleteness. The 80-20 conversation rule in any interaction: aim for them speaking. 80% you speaking, 20%, but that 20% must be precise, unapologetic, non-explanatory examples. "I'm changing cities soon." Not, "Well, I just feel like maybe it's time, and also work has been. I don't share that part of my life." Not, "It's just that I've been hurt before, and I don't know if I can trust. I've decided to move in a different direction." Not, "Please don't take this the wrong way. It's not that you're bad, it's just that." Short, clear, closed. Notice something: the less you explain, the more they think. They start filling in blanks. Why did they move? What direction? What are they working on? Your restraint turns into mental real estate in their head. Information taxes from now on. Treat your personal information like a luxury good. Level 1, basic facts. Name, where you're from, surface opinions. Almost anyone can get this. Level 2, current projects, deeper beliefs. Only people who demonstrate respect and reciprocity get this. Level 3, fears, traumas, core vulnerabilities, earned over time through repeated proof of loyalty and care. Most people you meet should never reach level 3. Ever. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're not a public exhibit. What not to do: don't fake mystery by lying or pretending to be someone you're not. That's not power, it's theater. Don't use silence to punish people you love. That's emotional abuse. Don't shut down completely. You're becoming selective, not robotic. Mantra 3. Not everyone gets a front row seat to my mind. Pause. Micro-conclusion for Section 4. Your words are a currency. Flood the market and they become worthless. Limit your disclosure, speak with precision, and you become the person whose opinion costs something to obtain. But value isn't just about what you say or don't say. It's about how you react. That's next. Push most people's buttons and you get an instant show. Raise your voice, right arrow, they explode back. Ignore their message, right arrow they double text, triple text. Question their choices, right arrow they launch into defensiveness. They are emotionally cheap. Any small stimulus buys a huge reaction. In social hierarchies, whether in primates or humans, the most reactive individual is rarely the one in control. Power is often signaled by calm. Modern research on emotion regulation, like James Gross's work, shows something obvious. The ability to choose your reaction instead of simply having one is one of the strongest forms of psychological power. The world trains you to be reactive. Outrage media drama on social platforms, family patterns where yelling equals attention, you don't even notice it anymore. You call it being honest or just how I am. But here's the dark truth. Every reaction is a payment. When you rage, you are paying with your dignity. When you beg, you are paying with your self-respect. When you chase, you are paying with your scarcity. Pause to become rare, your emotions must become expensive. The 3-second rule, simple, ruthless practice. Whenever you feel a surge, anger, panic, jealousy, hurt, you buy yourself 3 seconds before responding. In those 3 seconds, breathe in through your nose, exhale slowly through your mouth. Ask internally, if I respond now, whose game am I playing? If the answer is theirs, you stay silent. You may respond later, hours, days on your timeline. Adopt the observer position, one powerful mental shift. Instead of "they offended me," think, "I'm watching this person try to get a reaction from me." You've moved from actor to observer. Suddenly their behavior looks smaller, funnier, less threatening. You break the spell. This doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you decide how and when to address it without emotional debt. What not to do: don't suppress everything until you break. Calm does not mean bottling, it means channeling deliberately. Don't use "I'm calm" as a superiority badge to belittle others. That's just another reaction. Don't confuse numbness with strength. Turning to addictions or complete disengagement is collapse, not mastery. Mantra 4. My emotions are a vault. Not everyone has the code. Pause, micro-conclusion for Section 5. When you train yourself to respond instead of react, you become emotionally expensive. People can no longer buy your peace with a cheap provocation. And once they can't control your reactions, they lose control of you. Now we turn to the most feared power move of all, the ability to walk away. Nothing terrifies manipulators more than this sentence: "I'm willing to leave." Most people can't say it. Or if they say it, they don't mean it. They need this job, this relationship, this friend group, this approval. Neediness is a scent. You can't see it, but everyone smells it. Negotiation research from Harvard talks about BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In simple terms, the strength of your position in any deal depends on how good your life is if you walk away. If your only alternative to your job is unemployment and chaos, your boss owns you. If your only alternative to your partner is crushing loneliness and self-hatred, they own you. You will accept disrespect, accept underpayment, accept crumbs, because the alternative feels worse. Pause to become rare. You must invest in your alternatives. Build your exit options. Ask in each major area of your life. Work. Do I have skills that others are willing to pay for? Could I survive 3-6 months without this specific job? Am I building a portfolio, relationships, and savings that let me say no? Relationships. Do I have a life outside of this person? Friends, hobbies, purpose? If they vanish tomorrow, would I still recognize myself? Social circles. Do I belong to multiple networks, or just one group that can exile me? Then start building. Learn skills that are transferable across companies and industries. Build an emergency fund, yes, slowly if needed. Every dollar is leverage. Develop a life that is meaningful even when you're alone. This is not about becoming isolated. It's about never being cornered. The line in the sand. Decide now. 3 behaviors you will never tolerate again from anyone. 3 conditions you will never live in again: financial, emotional, physical. Write them down. These are your non-negotiables. Example: I do not stay where I am routinely insulted. I do not stay where my boundaries are mocked. I do not stay in a role that pays me so little I cannot live with basic dignity. When those lines are crossed, you leave. No drama, no endless debate. You exit quietly, completely. What not to do, don't make empty threats. If you say, I'll leave, and you don't, you just cheapen yourself further. Don't walk out in impulsive rage without a plan. That's not strength, that's self-sabotage. Don't announce your exit as a revenge performance. Power moves in silence. Mantra 5. I'd rather stand alone than kneel for crumbs. Pause, micro-conclusion for Section 6. When you have real alternatives, you negotiate differently. You act differently. You become the one who chooses, not the one who's chosen. And that changes how everyone prices you. Now we sharpen one more blade, your standards. Walk into a cheap all-you-can-eat buffet. People pile their plates high. Food is left half-eaten. There's noise, mess, waste. The restaurant can't complain, they designed it that way. Now walk into a Michelin-starred restaurant. Reservations required. Dress code. Tiny portions, obsessively crafted. If you show up 30 minutes late, they give your table to someone else. Which one gets more respect? Which one gets photographed and posted? Your life has been a buffet. Take what you want from me, I'll make more. High value begins when you stop offering unlimited refills. Pause, decide your minimums, write out your personal standards in 3 areas. How I treat myself, sleep, food. Physical health, the quality of content I consume, the way I speak to myself. Internally, how others must treat me, baseline politeness. And respect, how they speak to you. In conflict, how they respect your time and boundaries, the kind of environments I accept, workplaces, homes, social spaces. These are not wishes. These are rules of entry. Example standards. I do not let people yell at me as a communication style. I do not apologize for taking time to respond. I do not stay in friendships built only on complaining. Will you sometimes break your own rules? Yes, you're human, but the point is, every time you allow a discount, you feel it. Stop self-devaluation, pay attention to how you talk about yourself. I'm such a mess. I'm always the idiot who. I know I'm not that special, but you think you're being humble. But your subconscious is listening, and so is everyone else. You are teaching the world how to price you. Upgrade your language. I'm working on this part of myself. I made a mistake. That's not my entire identity. I take my growth seriously, not fake bragging, just neutral respect. What not to do. Don't swing from doormat to tyrant. True standards don't require aggression. Don't obsess over being high value in a performative way. Focus on integrity, not image. Don't use standards as a way to avoid intimacy. They're meant to protect connection, not prevent it. Pause, micro-conclusion for Section 7. By raising your standards for yourself and others, and enforcing them quietly, you stop running discount days on your soul. People either step up or step out. Both are good outcomes. We've covered behavior. Now we go deeper to the identity that makes all of this sustainable. Inside you, there is a voice that has been whispering for years. Take what you can get. Don't ask for too much. Be grateful anyone wants you at all. That voice is ancient. It comes from generations who survived by obeying, not by standing out. In philosophy, thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche talked about the herd instinct. The pressure to stay small, agreeable, and unthreatening so you don't get rejected or attacked. The herd is safe. The herd is also interchangeable. As long as you think like a bargain hunter, grabbing any opportunity, any job, any affection just because it's there, you will price yourself the same way. To truly become rare, you must flip the question from, can I get this? To, does this deserve me? Pause, selector, not beggar. Imagine walking into a room, old you, scanning faces. hoping someone likes you, adjusting your personality to fit. New you scanning faces and energy wondering, do I want to invest in these people? Same room, completely different posture. One is begging to be chosen, the other is choosing. This subtle internal shift transforms how you stand, speak, negotiate, date, network. People feel it. When you are truly capable of walking away, when your standards are real, when your silence is intentional, your presence changes before you say a word. Selective honesty. Most people lie to keep the peace. They say it's fine when it's not, say no worries when they're seething, say I understand when they don't. You don't have to become rude. You do have to become clear. Examples: I didn't like how you spoke to me just now. This arrangement doesn't work for me anymore. I'm not interested in that kind of relationship. Short, direct. Calm. Yes, some people will pull away. Good. They were attached to your cheap version. Others will lean in. Because in a world of flattery, truth is luxury. Pause. This is where the final cost appears. To live this way, you must accept being misunderstood, judged, talked about, sometimes alone. There is a void between who you were and who you're becoming. You will lose people who benefited from you being underpriced. That's not failure. That is refinement. You're sifting sand to find gold. You can't keep all the sand. Micro conclusion for Section 8. When you stop begging to be chosen and instead choose, when you practice calm truth instead of fake harmony, your entire identity shifts. You are no longer a product on sale. You become a rare piece. Some will walk past, a few will pay full price, and that is enough. Now let's bring it all together. Look back over what we've walked through. You saw that every relationship is part of an invisible marketplace. You learned that abundance destroys value and your constant availability has been cheapening you. You built gates, time boundaries, access filters, tests, so that only the serious can reach you. You learned to tax your words and weaponize your silence. You began training emotional sovereignty, so your reactions are no longer on sale. You built exits, skills, savings, self-respect, so you can walk away instead of begging to stay. You raised your standards and stopped running discount days on your soul. And you confronted the deepest shift, no longer begging to be chosen, but becoming the chooser. All of this adds up to one thing: you are rewriting your price tag. Pause. Here's the part most people will never accept. You cannot raise your value without losing people. That is the unavoidable cost. When you stop replying, instantly start saying no. Decline the invite, enforce the boundary, refuse disrespect, walk away from the underpaying job, tell the truth, instead of smoothing things over. Some will call you arrogant, accuse you of changing, try to guilt you back into your old role. That is your test. If you break there, if you run back, apologize for having needs and go on sale again, you will train yourself to live permanently below your worth. But if you hold steady, something else happens. The noise dies down, the users drift away, the manipulators look for easier prey, and in that quiet, something rare appears: the friend who respects your time and asks before dumping their problems. The boss or client who pays fairly and doesn't expect 24/7 access. The partner who values your calm, your standards, your boundaries, the opportunities that fit you instead of twisting you. The world does not reward what is free. It rewards what is costly and real. Pause. You have a decision to make. You can go back to the familiar role: the always available helper, the person who laughs it off when they're disrespected, the one who waits for texts, for calls, for validation, the one who tells themselves, next time I'll stand up for myself, and never does. You'll be liked. You'll be used. You'll be quietly resented for being too easy. And one day you'll look in the mirror and see someone who survived, but never lived on their own terms. Or you can close the old store. You can slow your replies, guard your calendar, speak less. And when you speak, mean every word. Hold your composure when others lose theirs. Build your skills, your savings, Your self-respect decide which behaviors you will never tolerate again. Accept the loneliness of transition. You will lose people. You will sit in rooms alone that you used to fill with noise. You will feel the urge to run back to cheap comfort. But if you stay the course, you will become someone whose presence is not taken for granted, someone whose time is requested, not assumed, someone whose voice changes the room when they finally choose to speak, someone who chooses their life instead of renting it to anyone with a request. Pause. The world is a marketplace. You are the only asset you will own for your entire life. Once your time is spent, there is no refund. Once your attention is drained, no one will refill it for you. Once your emotional energy is burned out, the same people who used it will call you different and leave. So stop handing out free samples of your soul. Charge full price for your time. Charge full price for your attention. Charge full price for your trust, your secrets, your reactions. Not in money, in effort, in respect, in reciprocity. Be willing to let people walk away if they don't want to pay it. Because the ones who do, they will treat you like the rare thing you decided to become. Pause. If you're still here, you are not ordinary. Most people clicked away the moment this stopped flattering them. You have two options now. Forget this and slip back into the role life wrote for you, or use this video as the line in the sand. Pick one concrete change, a boundary you will finally enforce, a person you will stop giving unlimited access to, a reaction you will stop giving away for free, a standard you will hold even if it costs you. Implement it today, not soon. If you want more content that doesn't sugarcoat human nature and walks the edge of what the algorithms are comfortable with, subscribe and stay close. For those who want the material I can't discuss openly here, the deeper, darker layers of psychology and power, look below this video. I keep the most unfiltered breakdowns in a private space, away from censorship and casual eyes. Most people won't go there. That's the point. Choose your path. Remain common, or become rare on purpose.